What's up guys, Shinbu1 for NI, and this time I'm making this English video to drop and break down the latest seismic shifts on the global server of Honor of Kings. We're diving deep into the June 12, 2025 patch notes, and let me tell you, there are some absolute game changers that are going to shake up the meta. No filler, no fluff, just the raw analysis you need to dominate the hero's gorge. Well, let's get straight into it. First up, we got Excalibur Man himself, Arthur, riding in with a beefy buff to his skill 1 Valiant Charge. Before, the base damage was 325 with a plus 65 per skill level and 100% scaling to extra physical attack. Now, we're looking at a base damage of 350, a 70 per skill level scaling, and a whooping 120% scaling towards extra physical attack. This is a significant buff to his early game duels and damage potential. That extra 20% physical attack scaling on skill 1 is going to make his rotations feel much more impactful, especially when he commits to a high damage build. Arthur mains, get ready to feel that extra punch. Next on the buff train, we have Dolia and her passive Mermaid's Gift. This time getting some love. Her health recovery, which was previously a flat 70 to 140, is now a dynamic 60 to 120. Now that looks like a reduction, but it has a scaling now of a 1% extra health. So there's more health recovery. And get this, her mana recovery is also improved, seeing an increase from a flat 5 now to a range of 5 to 10. While the base health recovery has a slightly lower floor, again, that 1% extra health scaling means a tankier Dolia will get even more out of her passive. The mana recovery boost is also a welcome change, allowing her to stay on the map and sustain herself in team fights for longer. Little adjustments that make a big difference for her longevity. Remember, we've seen Dolia took a dip since the removal of the knockbacks on her Ode last year. It's cool to see her getting buff again. Moving over to Jing, she's getting some serious upgrades that are going to make her even more menacing. I mean, for Jing mains. Her skill 1 Reflective Assault is seeing its base damage go from 180 to 200 and the per skill level damage from plus 36 to plus 40, all while maintaining that 100% extra physical attack scaling. But wait, there's more. The extra damage on this skill has increased from 10% physical attack now to 15% physical attack. That's a 5% increase in scaling in her primary damage ability. For her skill 2 Shattered Illusions, the health recovery is jumping from 60 to 150, and the per skill level addition would be from plus 16 now to plus 30. They also shifted the scaling from physical attack now to a 2% extra health scaling. Now, Jing mains will totally rejoice about this update since that extra damage on skill 1 is going to be felt, and the amplified healing on skill 2 means she'll be even harder to take down in extended skirmishes. Despite having a very low win rate and peak rate, expect to see some Jing players on your ranked games. Now, Sunbeam, the Time Bender, is also feeling the love on June 12. His skill 2 Time Flux is getting a cooldown reduction across the board. Previously, it was 12.5 seconds with a 0.5 seconds reduction per skill level. Now, it's a flat 11 seconds with a 0.4 seconds reduction per skill level. This means you'll be able to dish out those crucial speed buffs and slow effects more frequently, allowing for more aggressive engages or safer disengages. A small but impactful change that will improve his overall utility. And finally, for the buffs, we have first Sunsi getting some substantial boosts. His skill 1 Wave Render is seeing its base damage increase from 220 to 250, and the per skill level damage would be from plus 44 now to plus 50. Of course, it's gonna be maintaining that 90% physical attack scaling. But the real kicker is his ultimate, soaring from 300 now to 350 on the base damage, and the per skill level damage is now from 150 to 175. Still with a consistent 120% physical attack scaling. Sanji players, your burst just got even scarier. When you land that ultimate, is now going to feel even more devastating. And also, his early game clearance skirmish potential will be greatly enhanced with the skill 1 buff. Real talk, actually, Sanji's strong point is more than just the damage from his skills or ultimate, but it is actually the spammability of his ultimate come the late game. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We also have some nerfs hitting the global server, and two heroes are in the crosshairs. First up for the nerfs, we have the deserved nerf of Diaochan, the highest win rate mage in rank for the previous months. Her passive explosion of fragrance is seeing its slow effect reduced from a flat 50% to a more dynamic 25% to 50% slow. This means her early game slow will be less potent, giving enemies a bit more room to breathe. Her skill 2, Petals in the Wind, is also taking a hit on its cooldown. It was 10 seconds flat before, now it has a 0.3 seconds per skill level reduction. Yeah, if you look at it, it looks like a buff. But an adjustment was done on her on-hit cooldown reduction mechanic. It is now significantly lower. From a 4 seconds reduction on hit, now it is only just 3 seconds reduction on hit. This means less consistent uptime on her primary evasive and damage ability. Now for her ultimate flowery potential, it has a new effect. This skill can now be recasted to close the magic circle. Now, why is that? Because there is also a change on its cooldown mechanic, and it is quite significant. Before, the ultimate enters cooldown right after the skill was used. Now it enters cooldown only after the magic circle disappears. This is a massive nerf to her ultimate's overall cooldown, giving enemies more windows to engage on her without the threat of her ultimate being immediately available again. I think this is enough to pull down her play and win rates. And you know, for Diaochan players, especially the good ones, you're going to have to be much more precise with your engages and positioning this time around. Last but not the least is Sima Yi, also feeling the nerf hammer. His skill 2, Barren Lands, is seeing its passive health return reduced from 60% now to 50%. The 10% reduction in health return might not seem like a lot, but for a hero who relies on risky engagements, it's going to make a noticeable difference in his survivability, especially in longer team fights or when trying to bait out abilities. Sima Yi players, you'll need to be even more careful with your trades and engagements, as they won't be as forgiving as before. Now, also part of the new update is the arrival of the newest hero in Honor of Kings, Fatih, a fighter tank that also has great DPS on his kit. He relies a lot on inserting basic attacks between skills, and players with high APM actions per minute would love to use him. Expect our hero guide for him soon. Now that, my friends, wraps up the June 12, 2025 patch breakdown for Honor of Kings Global. We've seen some significant buffs to Arthur, Dolia, Jing, Sunbeam, and Sunsi, pushing them up in power and potentially shaking up our tier list. Now on the flip side, Diaochan and Simi have received some impactful nerfs that will force players and mains to adapt their playstyle. Now, what are your thoughts about these changes? Who do you think will rise to the top, and who do you think will struggle to find their footing? I hope you learned something or had a great time watching this video. Like if you like the video, subscribe to support the channel. Let me know in the comment sections what do you think of this video and what future videos do you want to see in our channel. I am Shinbu with the one for an eye, and as always, lahat kayong gamers, mabuhay!